my friends. Yes, thank you for joining us for number 18 in our Go Go Godzilla challenge as we take a look at 1991's Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Yes, the three-headed monster is back. Shooting yellow lightning out of his mouths and all, and that was really a horrible impression. My apologies. But nonetheless, we have the director of Godzilla vs. Biollante back, who also wrote the script, telling us the story of a group of folks from the future, 23rd century to be exact, who have come back to help 1991 Japan get rid of Godzilla by actually having him never be created. Yes, that's right. They're going to move him, go back in the timeline and move him from the equation where he was formed from radiation. And so, of course, 1991 Japan is like, yes, let's do this. So they travel back in time to remove the Godzillasaurus from the island where eventually the atomic testing forms Godzilla. Well, little do they know, these time-traveling folks have their own nefarious plan, which leads to the formation of King Ghidorah. So while we don't have Godzilla, we do have King Ghidorah, but history and nature has a way of still happening, and Godzilla does return to take on the three-headed monster mano a mano in a drop-down, drag-out fight for the future. Kazuki Omori gives us an interesting story, and go figure, it's time travel. Yes, it's sci-fi, especially because we've got King Ghidorah in the mix, though the origins of King Ghidorah are different because he's not from outer space. Apparently the director was like, I'm not going to have a freaking silly space monster, want to take over and attack the Earth. No. We're going to give him a little more grounded earthly origins. And I liked that. I actually kind of liked how that played out. Also, it opened up the door for some adorable little creatures called the Dorats, which, kind of look like Mogwai of sorts, but definitely not surprise of time travel because what also happened in 1991? Terminator 2, of course, which involved time travel, which involved someone coming back in time and helping change the future. Yeah, so there's a lot of influences there, including a character named, I think it's the M11, who's a cybernetic a character who is trying not to look like Arnold and from Terminator, but he sure as heck does resemble him in a lot of ways, including the vest he has, and even the thing that they take out from the side of his head is very Terminator-esque. Excuse me. So, it doesn't surprise me that we got the sci-fi element in here. Now, the human actors we got Kenji Sahara back. Kenji Sahara is back. The regular from the Showa era series of Godzilla films is back as a minister, Takayuki Sagawa, and from what I read, he's going to be with us a while, and it's great to see him. He chews up the scenery. I love the scenes that he's in, and it's great to read up that he's going to be a regular in here, who's also the regular and returning from Biollante is none other than Megumi Odaka, who plays the ESP-wielding lady Miki Saigusa, who now has more of a role into trying with Godzilla prevention weaponry and that. And so it's great to see her character return and have a role there. We get another strong female character besides Miki in the form of Emi. She's from the future, and she's played by Anna Nakagawa, and loved her performance in here as well. A very strong female character. She gets the chance to kick a little ass as well. And the final fight scene, the fight scenes, the monster fight scenes in here are fantastic. The Biollante one, in all honesty, was a little disappointing, with the mouths and that. It was kind of cool, but this one is between the two big heavies of the Toho cinematic universe. And so seeing them go mano a mano, Godzilla doesn't have any help this time, though he doesn't really need it, was fantastic. They fought like monsters. They had their own characteristics. King Ghidorah looked fantastic in here, and he was designed actually by the original King Ghidorah creator, Kaizo Murase. He actually designed the new one. We got no facial hair in here. He's slicker. His heads kind of look like Manda in a lot of ways, vicious looking, just like the fresh looking Godzilla, who during the course of this film gets his own kind of updated look, and he looks badass. I loved how he looked in here, and the animatronics that they have in in this newer Godzilla with his face and the way he moves his neck and everything. I mean, he just looks scary and badass in here. And so this fight is just a thing of beauty. Unfortunately, the execution of the human story in between these moments, for the most part, is a little clunky. I did like the origin story and the fact they went back to World War II, and they actually have a really touching story between one character and the Godzilla, actually, in many ways, and I liked that. It gave a little bit more depth to the Godzilla films that has been lacking in the last ones that we have seen. So that was a nice fresh change as well, but the stuff with the sci-fi Terminator stuff, Terminator-like stuff, was really kind of ridiculous to the point of you're just laughing and shaking your head. Now, granted, they are gearing these yet still towards the younger audience, so you can kind of see that, but it gets downright silly in many spots. And look for the time tunnel from Doctor Who to show up as well. I swear to God, they pulled it right from there. We also do get an appearance of a different form of Ghidorah, a little bit of spoiler, called Mecha Ghidorah, who looks badass as well, and will actually play a role later on in the Heisei series. So, on the whole, I think it's an improvement over Godzilla vs. Biollante, not because they brought back a classic hero, classic villain, but in just the fact of it seems like they've got their footing under them again of how they want to approach this new series of Godzilla films, and I'm looking forward to watching the next one and bringing that to you. So, check it out. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. I think it's worth a watch, especially for the monster fight at the end. If you have seen this film, leave your comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts on this, as well as our entire series so far. How's it going for you? And you enjoying it? Love to hear your constructive thoughts. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out our Patreon. And, of course, thank you for your support. I appreciate every single one of you. And until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.